Welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. Today I have with me a wonderful person, a great author, a writer, and a high roller of sorts on the slot machines. She has so many talents, and she is a native of Connecticut, born and raised here, and still lives in Connecticut. So please join me in welcoming Debbie Tosun Kilday. Debbie, welcome to the show.
Hi.
I hope I pronounced your last name right.
Yes, you did.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Thank you very much for coming all the way to
Thank
be
you
on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so excited to have you on the show because of the kind of expertise you have and the lovely way in which you've penned it all in your book. I read that book and I couldn't put the book down, really.
The name of the book is No Limits, How I Beat the Slots. It chronicles my first 5 years of playing slot machines, mostly at Mohegan Sun Casino.
And as a child, how was your life? Your parents didn't go to the casinos, did they?
No, not at all.
So what kind of life did you have as a child growing up in Connecticut?
I grew up on a dairy farm, and my parents were very against gambling and gamblers. They called people that gambled degenerates, and they didn't want to have anything to do with people that did.
I guess they are right in one way because of all the people that could have got addicted to such an activity, and also who might have lost money and thereby caused grief for their families. So I think some of that idea comes from that, right?
Actually, that's a fallacy, I think.
Okay.
Now that I have learned firsthand, everything that you do is a chance, a gamble. Just living every day, getting up in the morning to live is a gamble.
Yeah, your book gives a wonderful picture of this particular in a slot machine activity where you can really be successful at it. But
well,
I think that is why you have the very special gift and the skill to tackle it.
I did not acquire that gift, so-called gift, until I was 50 years old. I'm 60 now, and I only went to a casino because my best friend that had brain cancer, she asked me to take her to her favorite place before she died, which was Mohegan Sun. And otherwise I would never have gone. But the strange part is she never told me in the 25 years I knew her that she went to casinos.
She hid it from you.
She hid it. She hid it from me. Yeah. She hid it from members of her family because of the stigma that's attached to gambling and gamblers.
Yeah, I'm quite aware of the kind of stigma that can attach to a gambler. And playing the slot machine is as much gambling as playing the lottery tickets, I think, where the odds are even worse, but still people play them and they don't consider themselves degenerate because they're playing lottery, right?
Right.
So what's the difference?
The difference, there is no difference really. It's what drives people to do certain things. Some feel hopeless. Everybody needs money to live, so they take a chance. That's really what how it starts, I guess.
So what did you do for a living and for the first 50 years of your life? What kind
I
of
was a
activities?
computer operator for an insurance company in Connecticut. And I was also...
Was it a 9-to-5 job?
It was a 12-hour job.
12-hour?
Computer
job?
Operators work odd hours.
I see.
And
was it the daytime hours or night shift
I worked
hours?
both shifts, 6 at night to 6 in the morning, or 6 in the morning to 6 at night.
Why did you do that?
Why?
Yeah.
That was my job. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
but
it's kind of...
other than that job, I mean, the job that made me money, I was also an artist for many years. Since I was young, I would always draw and paint, make pottery. And so, I mean, I had all these other talents.
And that's beautiful because, you know, to see so many talents in one person is very interesting because most people don't have all talents. You can't really do a lot of things.
I think growing up on a dairy farm, we were very remote. We didn't have a lot of neighbors because you had a lot of land, you know, with the animals.
Your next neighbor was how far away?
Maybe a mile.
I see.
So, you know, we didn't see that many people. There weren't many children.
You had to keep yourself occupied in a constructive way.
Yeah, so I would go out in the woods or play, you know, observe animals and make little pies out of mud, clay, you know.
I see.
Play in the dirt, I guess.
Yeah, because I think in the good old days where I kind of grew up in the 50s, 60s too.
Yes.
And we did not have television where I come from, but I know that even if you had television here, it was, you know, it wasn't such a variety that you have today.
I guess it was a different time, and I would have to occupy myself if I wasn't helping out, you know, helping my mother and father, you know, on the farm, doing chores like gathering eggs, helping with the milk dairy.
You said it's a dairy farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we did have some chickens.
Okay.
We had a few different animals.
Oh.
So.
So you developed all these other talents.
I guess. You know, it's just a form of playing to me, I think.
And then
growing up in nature, you know. And I also became a photographer. I did that I still do that now, but in my, you know, that's for fun, I guess, being a photographer.
I'm thinking just by, you know, judging from your book, and only in a short time you became so skilled at mastering the slots. So I'm thinking that in photography and poetry and whatever else you engaged in, you must have really done the best. I mean, you must have been really good at it.
Well, I'm not going to judge myself in that way, but as far as playing the slots is concerned, it was very much by accident as far as I thought it was, but I believe in fate. I think it was my fate to do this or find this skill that I found. That first time I was going to bring my friend before she died to the casino, she was unable to go. We planned a trip and she started having brain seizures. So, you know, she couldn't go. I didn't want to go. I never had been there. So
that's the time she mentioned to you that she goes to the casinos.
Yes.
And when you offered to take her?
Yes. Well, she wanted me to take her.
Or she wanted you to take her?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she wasn't able to go. You know, after we planned the trip, the night we were supposed to go, she couldn't go. And she told me, though, that she wanted me to go.
And this was about 10 years ago?
This was about 10 years ago.
Okay. And that's the first time you went to a casino?
And that was the first time in my life that I stepped foot in a casino.
Okay.
I was very upset. I didn't really want to go. I had told my husband, let's just go home, you know, because she couldn't go.
Did she give you money to go play, or did you
No.
take your own?
No, she didn't give me money.
So you took your own money to play. Just a question. Yeah.
Well, so anyway, it was actually, we were supposed to go to a comedy show at the casino, which I was practically crying. You know, I was so upset that she had this brain seizure and
so
couldn't
you
go.
couldn't enjoy the show.
I couldn't. I don't even remember what the show was. But she had told me that I want you to go to the casino and find your new best friend. That's what she told me before I left to go.
What did she mean by that?
well, maybe she had a sense that, who knows.
Mm.
But she said, I want you to go to the casino, find your new best friend, because I'm not going to be around much longer.
Okay.
And, I was crying at that point. But that's exactly what happened. That first visit, after the comedy show, I stepped out into the casino. There were lights and flashing, lights and all kinds of sounds. In those days, they had the coins that would drop into the bottom of the machine if you won.
What do you mean in those days? You don't have them now?
No, now it's all paper. It's all paper. There's no.
I see. No actual coins dropping. No money dropping there.
No.
Okay.
So it's come, a long way since those days. I used to have buckets of coins. I couldn't even carry them, the way. But anyway, so going back to my first visit there, I was looking around. I didn't know what I would play. I wanted to play something or try it. So I saw these two rows of people, and they were all talking to each other. They seemed very friendly. And I thought, well, maybe they came together, that they knew each other, and they had come as a group, but they were all strangers. They had met at the casino. Mm. So a seat opened up, and I sat there, and I put in a $100 bill. I had a $100 bill.
I have been to casinos before.
Yeah.
And do you know how much I think I keep to play on the slot machines? $20. That's it. I go play the 28. If I keep winning, I keep playing it till I lose it all, and then I walk away from there.
I guess I put
and then
this.
Just like you said, go attend the shows and something, and just have fun.
I think I put that $100 bill in because I thought that would be my one and only time there.
I see.
But what happened was I was on one end of this row, and another woman was on the other end. Mm. Her machine went off. She had won a big prize. So everybody in the row was saying, what did Nellie win? And they all knew her name and everything, and they said $10,000.
$10,000 on a slot machine?
On a slot machine, dollar slot machine.
Till I read your book, I never heard of that. Until then, I never knew that it could give such returns.
So $3 a spin, it was. So I was sitting there thinking, gee, I wonder what that looks like. I never saw that kind of money. Mm. I don't make that kind of money. And just as I said that, my machine went off, and I had just won $10,000 too.
See, you're lucky. You had my lucky day. When the first machine gave something, it was just a small amount. And a couple of times I would get some very small amounts.
That's where the fate part comes in, I think.
Yes. So for you were meant to be doing this, and you needed some motivation. So
I think so.
The machines or whatever, the setup gave you that motivation.
But I want to tell you, that woman that won first on the other end, I went over to congratulate her afterward. Mm-hmm. And she's my best friend today. Oh. She helped me get through my old friend's death and everything.
So your friend kind of knew.
I guess she knew.
She knew what's in store for you, and she urged you to go there.
But I want to tell you, that first time winning that kind of money, I thought it was a one-time thing. But the casino offered me a room for the next night, come and have dinner and see Paul Anka in concert.
That tells me that that's not a daily event.
They wanted their money back, I think.
That's not something that happens to everyone. Yeah, something special, you got it, and that's why the casino gave you the room to play.
Well, I don't know, but we went back the next night, and I thought, we went to the show, and I met Paul Anka, and it was great. But after the show, I went out on the floor, and I was looking to find that same machine that I had won that money at the night before, and it wasn't available. Someone else was playing that machine, so I got upset or panicky, thinking, gee, you know.
Oh, somebody else has that lucky machine.
Yeah,
today.
someone else has a lucky machine. So I sat at another machine and started playing that one, and I won $2,000.
So not bad.
20 minutes
But you were
after
disappointed,
that.
I bet. Oh, it's not a 10,000.
Well, no, I wasn't. I mean, I was happy, but every 20 minutes on average, I was winning at least $1,000.
I can see our viewers watching this, and many of them may have gone to Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun or Las Vegas and saying, that never happened to me.
Well,
so how did this happen to Debbie?
I didn't know why it happened to me, but I have to say, the first 5 months that I played at Mohegan Sun, I won $400,000 playing dollar slot machines. I was going an average of 3 times a week, I think, at that time. And so winning all that money, I gave that money to my friend while she was alive to help her with her medical.
I think that is what really made me say, I want to call Debbie in so that she can be on the show. Because it's not just about winning money, it's not just about knowing how to beat the slots and know how to play it and all that. It's what you did with all the winnings.
Well,
you know?
It was fun. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not fun to win money, but I think it's more important that I met a lot of wonderful people at the casino, which blew my mind, you know, when I was thinking back about what my parents had taught me, never to go there and not to talk to people there. And so I was meeting all these different people from all walks of life, and they were nothing like my parents had warned me about.
So your parents painted a picture of a group of people that are not good to have as friends, and not good to move with.
I think it was
a bad habit that they had.
I think it was them trying to instill fear in me so that I wouldn't go, ever. And I think that's the problem. People, they don't enjoy their lives because they have so much fear of what's going to happen. They plan and they, you know, do all these things to try to avoid disappointment or losing in life, and really you only have this one moment right now, one moment at a time.
I guess, you know, whether it's gambling or whether it's just simple career or business even, one has to take some risks, at least first, you know, just not have fear.
Every day is a risk. You know, when you're getting up in the morning, it's a blessing and it's a risk at the same time.
But we don't look at it that way. Whereas anything that we want to achieve, that scares us.
Well, when I saw my friend deteriorating in front of my eyes, it was 5 months before she died, you know, from the time she found out that she was sick. And watching her in that way, all I could think was, life is very short, you know. For some it's shorter than others. Why not enjoy yourself if you find something that makes you happy, whatever it is.
So this one, although you went to play in the casino so that you can help your friend, you still enjoyed it? I
think that's what drove me there.
But then you enjoyed it so much, you kind of kept going.
Of course. I mean, I was a winner. But I want to tell you that it's also my frame of mind. I never walked into that place thinking I would be a loser. I would go on the elevators there coming in, and people would say, you know, I'm going to lose so much money, or it's my monthly deposit, or whatever they would say. They didn't go in there as a winner. They went in there expecting to lose, and they did, probably.
And that's good to know that you have to go with a positive mind.
You do.
If you go in with a
negative mind. Well, I think everything in life you should try to expect the best outcome possible.
I like all the philosophies you've mentioned in the book.
You do.
Know, at times I chuckled at it, sometimes I said, oh, it's so true. But then I feel it's kind of true of our generation. You know, some of the
way you think?
Kind of thinking that we had before and how we've come around. to learn to enjoy life and take things as they come.
Yeah.
Be grateful for things you get, and then be charitable with what you have.
I think
And
that's
some of
really
those-
important to share with others. You know, if you hoard it to yourself, it's not going to help you or anybody else. Yeah.
So it's not just that friend, right, who died
No.
of cancer. You still kept helping others.
Well, before she died, I made a promise to her. She used to call me her angel, you know, but I made a promise to her that if I kept winning, I would continue
Oh.
to help other people that were in similar situations.
In your book, also you mentioned that sometimes you would go at a certain time of the day, play for hours, or sometimes late in the night, or sometimes early in the morning. Did it matter when you went, and did it kind of make you feel, hey, what am I doing at all these unearthly hours, sitting here and playing?
No, it was like a whole different world. It really is like a whole different world there. And people build friendships. I think when I lost my friend, there was like a loneliness inside of me, you know, and I think that's one of the reasons why people go to casinos. It's not only because of the entertainment. I think they have this need to connect with other people, and it's very easy to do there because you're sitting right next to other people.
I see.
You're kind of forced into talking to them, you know?
And your husband went with you too, right,
Yes.
to play on the casino. So you had support from him. It was okay that you were going, or not?
Sometimes.
So how did that work?
Not so much, you know. He also had the same upbringing I did, so it wasn't as easy for him to accept.
Would it have been any different if you had lost money?
If I had lost money,
would you have gone on? We only have 5 minutes left. Can we have a close-up of the book, if we can, before we...
I think it's important to know that, like I had said before, and you had said before, life is very short. Whatever makes you happy, you should do it. And it doesn't make any difference if you win or lose. It's what is making you happy. For me, all those friendships I made there, it was making me happy. So I wanted to be there. It didn't make any difference if I was playing a slot machine or not.
So this book, you don't just give the mechanics of how you won the slot machines, won at the slot machines.
No, it's my
story. But you
story.
also give a whole story around it, with all the people, the characters involved.
I met a lot of celebrities too.
It's a live. I mean, it's nonfiction.
It's
something that happened.
I call
really.
it creative nonfiction. I won't admit to everything that happened.
And then you won millions of dollars, really, in a
Yes.
short period of time.
In the book, I say $3.4 million in the first 5 years.
Yeah.
It was more like 8.9 million.
The total.
Mm-hmm.
And
All little
the-
wins, not any big wins.
Yeah.
All little wins, $1,000 at a time.
Yeah. And that kind of a thing also brings unwanted attention sometimes.
Yes, I was hounded by people wanting money.
You have your friends and other people who want you to be generous with them because you want something.
Actually, no, none of those people at the casino were
Not
those.
the friends at the casino.
Oh.
Then there were more relatives, more like relatives.
Yeah, older friends,
Older
relatives.
friends and relatives, okay.
I was very generous with everybody, but they were jealous. They wanted it to be them. People weren't happy for me, to have that kind of winning. They wanted it to be them.
Do you think that a person can take away some important lessons from your book and really be successful at the slot machines?
Well, I have people that have used my slot tips that are in the book, and they have won money for the first time in their lives.
I see.
So they do work. It's not a chance.
Yeah.
There's an actual formula,
Yeah.
to follow.
Yeah, I note that you sit for hours, and I don't think many people can sit for more than even half an hour or an hour sometimes. So you need that kind of a patience with it and stay with it
You
kind
do.
of mentality.
You do.
We only have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
The time flew. There's so much more I wanted to ask you about, which is why I recommended, I suggested you do a second show with me. It's a wonderful book. I enjoyed it thoroughly. You have an easy style, lots of good philosophical thoughts. So keep writing lovely books like this.
Thank you.
It's really wonderful, and I'm going to pick your brain some more on more shows. So I invite you to come back on the show, so we can talk some more about your philosophies, your health.
I do want to say, though, what was I going to say? I was going to say that it's important to know that I feel it's important to know that money did not change me. It changes a lot of people, but it did not change me.
Meeting all the celebrity, getting all those big
I'm the same person I was.
Gifts and giveaways at the casino.
More open now, though, than I was. It opened me up to a different, perspective.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for explaining everything to me. I just enjoyed your book. I'm waiting for the next book.
Thanks.
If you write the next book, please let me know. And before it's published, give me a copy. I'll read it for you.
All right.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. That was Debbie Tosun Kilday. And please tune in again next week. We're going to talk some more about her books and other activities that she's been involved with. So until next time, goodbye.